Does business analysts only work on developing web applications, or there are different types of projects where a business analyst can contribute?
Nowadays, because AI is in picture, we have AI BAs as well. So AI BAs they're not creating models, but what they are doing is they're analyzing the problem and they're finding the solution by leveraging artificial intelligence.
So how did you transition from a non-business analyst kind of a profile, or non-IT actually, to the business analyst profile?
From education perspective, I have done my commerce degree. No engineering, no computer science. What really helped me in my BA role is doing my CBAP certification and my domain expertise.
One important question. A lot of people think that since BA primarily is an IT role, so they need to know programming. And a lot of people I know, they don't try and transition to business analyst just because of the fear of this. So what do I have to say about that? So which are the top few soft skills which a business analyst should be good at? Well, somebody who is listening to this podcast and they also now desire to become a business analyst, how should they approach this transition?
The major challenge that I face is handling difficult stakeholders. Because sometimes when you deal with so many different people, understanding them, their perspective, sometimes it's a bit difficult. Sometimes changing requirements is also a challenge. And almost all BAs faces this challenge.
So how do you think business analysts who are currently working into that kind of a role, doing documentation and only capturing requirements, how can they move up the value chain? What do they need to show or prove so that they can go up and maybe contribute more to the overall benefits to the client? What is the role a certification plays, and any specific certifications for different stages of business analysis you would recommend? Some commonly asked questions about transitioning. Okay, a lot of people think that they are already working and they have a CTC, some expectation of how much they can take home. So they believe that once they join a business analyst role, they'll be treated as a fresher. And what will be the impact on the salary? Good morning, good evening. Welcome to another episode of FutureForward, a podcast series by Techcanvass on artificial intelligence, business analysis, and data analytics. In every episode, we talk to an expert at a topic at length. In this episode, we are going to talk about business analysis. What is business analysis? The role and responsibilities of a business analyst, the challenges, career paths, and of course, the impact of AI on business analysis. Our guest today is a senior manager at SS&C, where she leads a team of business analysts. She brings over 22 years of experience across banking, BPO, and IT. She now mentors professionals preparing for IBA certifications and is passionate about helping others grow, especially those from non-traditional backgrounds. Please welcome Rachana Patil to FutureForward. Yeah, hi Rachana.
Hi.
Welcome to FutureForward. In this episode, we are going to talk about business analysis. So let's start by talking about you. Tell us, viewers, about yourself.
Thank you, Abhishek, for having me here. I'm really delighted to be part of this conversation. So I'm Rachana Patil. I'm currently working as a senior manager in SS&C. I started my career almost 22 years ago with ICICI Bank. After spending almost 2 years in ICICI Bank, I moved to BPO operations. I almost spent 11 years learning and gaining domain expertise. I moved from junior level to a leadership level in BPO operations. And then I moved to a BA role in IT company in SS&C. So that's how my career journey started. From education perspective, I have done my commerce degree, no engineering, no computer science. I'm from non-technical background. I studied in a vernacular medium, BMC school. The one thing what I had is the passion to learn, and that's how I have reached to the level which I wanted to have.
Okay, so you are currently a senior manager and managing a team as well. So how did you transition from a non-business analyst kind of a profile, or non-IT actually, to the business analyst profile? How did that journey happen?
That's an interesting question. So while working in BPO operations, I got an opportunity to work with business analysts in the UK, where I just observe them, how they conduct the elicitation, how are they applying different techniques, how they used to conduct the workshop. I got fascinated by that role. And that's when I decided that I want to do a business analysis. I started searching for that role, and eventually I got an opportunity to move into IT doing a business analyst role. But that transition was not easy. I had to earn that trust from my stakeholders. What really helped me to in my BA role is doing my CBAP certification and my domain expertise. CBAP certification really helped me understanding the techniques that I can use while working as a business analyst. What are the tasks that I should be performing? And mainly the terminology that business analysts should use. So that really helped me in my business analysis role. Also, my domain expertise, because I had previous experience working with end users, I could understand what challenges that end users are facing.
Okay. That's nice to know. So, with this podcast actually is all about business analysis. Okay. So now, taking the thread from there, and let's start by talking about the basics of business analysis. So, in your view, what is business analysis? Let's say people who don't know what is business analysis. What do you think is business analysis?
So, at a very high level, business analysis is understanding the problem and providing the solution which delivers value to the stakeholders. But when we do the business analysis, we do various different tasks like collaborating with different stakeholders, understanding their perspectives, talking to different teams, understanding their views, their opinion, and then do the documentation, collaborating with development testing team throughout the software development lifecycle. So that is the main job of business analyst, and this is all about business analysis. So analyzing the problem, providing the solutions which will add value to the stakeholder.
Right. So, does business analyst only work on developing web applications, or there are different types of projects where a business analyst can contribute?
Oh, that's a good question. So, so from my knowledge, business analyst can be anywhere. Business analyst is someone who is able to understand the problem, able to provide the solution, be able to interact with different people. So business analyst can be part of operations, business analyst can be part of IT, business analyst can be part of retail banking. So in different industries, business analyst can be, you can found business analyst. So in terms of role, you can have a traditional business analyst who is mainly involved in, or we can call it as ITBA, who is generally involved in collecting the information from the stakeholders and documenting it, communicating, collaborating with different stakeholders, and supporting testing. So that's the traditional BA role. But we also have a data business analyst who is mainly working on data. So who uses Excel, Power BI, or any data tools to do the data analytics. So, and nowadays, because AI is in picture, we have AI BAs as well. So AI BAs they're not creating models, but what they are doing is they're analyzing the problem and they're finding the solution by leveraging artificial intelligence, where they can introduce artificial intelligence. So yeah, these are the areas where BA can move.
Yeah, so basically 2 or 3 types minimum,
Yes,
which
minimum,
we are
yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there are many actually, but 3 are the broader or maybe the main areas.
So for each of these varieties of business analysts, what are the skills? Will they be different from each other, or there will be some commonality of the skills across all the types of the business analysts?
So yeah, it depends. If you are a process analyst, process business analyst, then you will be mainly doing the process analysis. You will be analyzing the process, inefficiencies in the workflows, and recommending the solution to improve the workflow process. If you are a data business analyst, you will be finding the trend patterns, and with that you will be making decisions to improve. If you are artificial intelligence business analyst, then you will be finding out gaps in the current project, current process, and finding out ways to leveraging artificial intelligence in the current process to do automation.
Right. So, in some basics of artificial intelligence, machine learning, that also the AI BA needs to learn.
Yes, basic they should learn. I don't expect them to do the modeling. Okay, I don't expect them to create models, but yes, they should know how modeling works and how machine learning works. So they should have a basic technical knowledge.
Okay. One important question. A lot of people think that since BA primarily is an IT role, so they need to know programming. And a lot of people I know, they don't try and transition to business analyst just because of the fear of this. So what do I have to say about that?
I have experienced this because I'm a trainer and I'm a mentor also. So people do ask me this question. For me, technical skill is not required. I mean, programming skill is not required to become a business analyst. But they should know how system architecture works. So say for example, if in their project they are using APIs, how API is working, how the request message is being sent, how the response is getting. So basic knowledge they should have. I don't expect them to build and create APIs. So yes, it's not required for them to understand the programming or know the programming, but they should have a basic knowledge of how overall technical thing works.
So that clarifies. Also, if somebody is working on data analytics projects as a business analyst, do they need to know Power BI like tools, the visualization tools?
Yes. If someone is working in a core data field, then they should know Excel, Advanced Excel, Power BI, whatever tool their organization is using. So it's a part of hard skill, and whatever tools, techniques that their organization is using, they should get experience on those tools.
Okay. So, as you mentioned earlier, that as a business analyst, you have to deal with stakeholders, both sides actually, your team as well as the client side. So, obviously, a lot of soft skills which will be at play here. So, which are the top few soft skills which a business analyst should be good at?
So, for a business analyst, soft skills are the key. There are many soft skills that business analysts should be acquainted with. But if I talk about top three, then communication is one of them. Because business analyst is talking to different people, different stakeholders. So they should able to communicate with the stakeholders effectively. Second skill is they should able to listen. So listening is a second skill that I would like to mention, because business analysts, when they are gathering the requirement, there are many stakeholders involved. So they should able to listen to them. They should able to understand them, their perceptions. So that is the skill, and also empathy, because while working with different stakeholders, each stakeholder has a different perspectives. They have different emotions. So business analysts should able to understand that. They should able to feel what stakeholders are feeling. That way they can uncover their needs and document it and provide the effective solution for them, which solves their problem.
So, as a follow-up question, let's have an example. Somebody who is listening to this podcast and they also now desire to become a business analyst. So, how should they approach this transition?
Okay, so someone who has no experience working in BA, working in IT, first of all, they should be confident. Okay, they can do it. So what they would need to start with is to understand the BA role, what they do exactly. rather than jumping into certification. Because I have seen that most of the BA directly go for certification. So rather than doing that, they should understand what BA role is all about, what they do, and then explore videos, read the blogs, join networking groups. That way they can understand, what exactly BA role is, what kind of different options.
has a group. Yeah.
IIBA has a groups, networking groups. They can join that. There are various different groups. Meetup is one of them. LinkedIn, through LinkedIn also they can join business analysis groups. So there are various different options, and from there they can get to learn, what is actually the business analysis and what kind of options available for them, based on their interest. And then they can go for certification, just to understand what are the high level tasks, techniques that BA can use in their day-to-day BA life.
Okay. So now we have talked about you're transitioning to the business analyst role. Now let's talk about how you're working as a business analyst. So tell me about your experience so far in the field of business analysis. So you have been into overall this space for close to
9 years. 9 years. In core business analysis, I was doing business analysis, but without title.
So how about your business analysis experience so far or journey so far?
I'm really enjoying my journey, because I have grown from a senior business analyst to the senior manager role, leading a business analyst team. So my journey was not easy, because when I moved to IT, there were challenges. The major challenge was to gain trust from my stakeholders, because I did not have a technical degree. I did not have a BA experience. And I couldn't use the language they were using. So it was a challenge. But over a period of time, because I had a strong domain knowledge, I used that as my strength. And when I got an opportunity to prove myself, to work on one of the project where I was involved in building the workflow, my domain knowledge really helped me, because I closely worked with end users. So I knew what are the challenges that they are facing. And it really helped me to prove myself that I can do a business analysis job effectively. And I got a lot of appreciations for my work. And that's how I gained the confidence. And I did my certification also from IIBA, CBAP certification, which really helped me to understand the core BA activities. Especially that helped me to understand the terminology I'm supposed to use when I'm interacting with different BAs, different stakeholders. So, I started using them in my meetings, in my daily conversations with my stakeholders. And that's how I moved to the higher role.
So now, since you're a manager, let's go back a little bit and say when you were working as a business analyst, purely not managing just the team, then how was your typical day as a business analyst?
So my day used to start with our daily stand-ups, because we used to follow agile methodology. So we used to have our daily stand-ups. Then I used to see what are the tasks available in the backlog. I used to pick up that, and I used to start with my analysis. There were different calls that I used to attend with my stakeholders, just to understand their problem, if there are any questions. And then I used to give an update to our Scrum Master about what we have done so far. So that is how our day-to-day work.
And how much it has changed once you have become, now you're leading a team. So what changes have happened in your day-to-day work?
So not major changes. The reason being, although I'm managing a team of business analysts, I'm also an individual contributor. So I'm working on the projects as well, because I don't want to lose my knowledge. And even my organization is getting benefit of my domain expertise. So I'm also an individual contributor. So today also I'm starting with my daily stand-ups and regular calls with stakeholders. Apart from that, I also kind of see what my team is doing, and if there are any blockers, challenges that they are facing, I guide my team. I define the process for them. So that is my daily task.
Okay. So there are so many moving blocks here, so many stakeholders. So you must be facing a lot of challenges. So what are the typical challenges you face, and How do you navigate them?
The major challenge that I face is handling difficult stakeholders, because sometimes when you deal with so many different people, um, understanding them, their perspective, sometimes it bit difficult. But because I have a lot of patience, and that's what I say to every business analyst, that they should have a patience, calmness, listen to your stakeholders carefully, patiently, understand them, show empathy towards them. And that's how I try to manage these difficult conversations. I use conflict resolution skills as well while dealing with those people. But yeah, it is challenging. And the second thing is sometimes requirement changing requirements is also a challenge,
Yeah.
right? And almost all BS faces this challenge. But with Agile, we have a flexibility to accept a new change requirement. But what I believe is that we should have a proper governance process defined, which should be accepted by all your stakeholders, and we should follow that. If you are getting any change request, there should be it should be assessed to see the impact on overall project, and then determine whether this change request can be accepted, rejected, or deferred for the release. Obviously, business analyst can't make that decision.
Yeah.
They have to involve stakeholders, but business analyst can influence based on their impact assessment.
One of the challenges which people ask also is that, let's say there is a change request and you have to give the estimation to the client. So how do you deal with the technical team? Because you may not be very familiar with the coding or the back-end work. Okay, so how do you kind of get that correct estimation without being underestimated or overestimated? Any thoughts on that?
So, collecting estimations from the tech team is not that easy. It's not about going to them asking how much time it will take. It's all about understanding the context, explaining the detailed requirement to the development team, and clarifying their doubts. That's how we estimate our requirements. So, many a times we don't get a detailed requirement from our stakeholders. So when we have limited information, we go for ROM size, which is t-shirt size estimates. Sometimes we also do hourly estimations. So based on the context, based on the requirement, the size of the requirement, we decide which estimation method we should be using. So that's how we approach the estimation process.
Okay. So one of the things which many people talk about it is that our business analysts only for capturing requirements and doing the documentation. Okay. IABA definition definitely puts it much beyond that. Okay. So how do you think business analysts who are currently working into that kind of a role, doing documentation and only capturing requirements, how can they move up the value chain? What do they need to show or prove so that they can go up and maybe contribute more to the overall benefits to the client?
Yeah. So when I talk to a lot of people, their understanding is that business analyst is just bridging the gap between business and technical team. So they just gather the requirement, document it, and communicating to the development team. That's their job. But it is not true. So business analyst goes beyond that. Business analyst gathers the requirement. Gathering requirement is also a challenge. So they conduct several elicitation activities with different stakeholders. They conduct interviews, workshop, brainstorming sessions. They understand the requirement. They do the analysis on that requirement, what is required, what is not required. And then they create a formal documentation for the development team. Not only for the development team, because there are multiple stakeholders involved in reviewing those documentation. So they create artifacts for all of them, creating process models, data flow diagram, use cases. So they create multiple artifacts for the team, and they communicate that to the respective stakeholders. After that, They are involved in clarifying the doubts of developers. They are involved in reviewing the test cases of testers. So business analyst role is not limiting to collecting the requirement and sharing that with the development team, but throughout the software development lifecycle, business analysts is supporting the entire team and getting and ensuring that the solution is delivered correctly and as per the expected business need.
Yeah, correct. That is very important. So basically, they can also contribute by solving the client problems. They understand what clients are looking for, and then ensuring that it is actually addressed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is something which people can use and go up the value chain.
Yes.
Okay. So that was the section where we talked about the working as a business analyst. Now let's move on to the career paths. Okay. So broadly speaking, how the career paths for business analysts look like?
So it all depends on their interest. Because business analyst role is, I feel that there are a lot of options available for business analysts to move into different roles. If business analyst is more interested in understanding the product, they can go for product owner role. If business analyst is interested in doing and going to the leadership role, they can go for BA manager role. They can go for principal BA role. They can lead the program. Business analyst can go for scrum master role as well, provided they have that potential and skill. So there are various options available for business analysts to move to different roles. It all depends on their interest.
And what is the role a certification plays? And any specific certifications for different stages of business analysis you would recommend?
Yes. So certification, for me at least, it has played a crucial role in my business analysis career. So I feel that if someone who wants to become a business analyst, they should explore what business analysts do and what is their roles and responsibilities, and then they can opt for certification. So if that person don't have any experience working as a business analyst, they can opt for ECBA certification, which is a very basic or foundation course. And then someone who has mid-year of experience, I would say around 2 to 4 years of experience, they can go for CCBA course, which is Certificate of Competency. And then someone who has expertise in business analysis, they can go for CBAP certification. So it's a professional course.
And for CBAP, you need approximately 5 years of business analysis experience.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They should have a 7,500 hours of work experience.
Yeah. And the designation is not important in that case.
So title is not important. Business analyst title is not important, because I'll give you my example. When I started my career in IT, I did not have a proper business analyst title, right? When I did my certification, I had only operational experience working as an end user. But I tried mapping my experience with business analysis task, and that worked. Right? I was doing business analysis earlier as well, but I did not, without knowing it, that I am performing business analysis.
Yeah. So people need to kind of assess what they're doing, and does it map to the business analysis activities?
Yes.
Okay. So now going back a bit, so if somebody is trying to become a business analyst, what kind of a time frame they should be looking at?
It again depends on their learning pace. If someone is totally new to a BA and IT field, they might take 6 to 12 months. 6 to 12 months. If they already have IT experience, say for example, if there is a developer, they want to move to a BA role, it can take 3 to 6 months for them to understand the BA roles and responsibilities, and they can move forward.
Some commonly asked questions about transitioning. Okay, a lot of people think that they are already working and they have a CTC, some expectation of how much they can take home. So they believe that once they join a business analyst role, they'll be treated as a fresher. That's a common question which I get. And what will be the impact on the salary? How should they handle it or look at it?
Right. So that's a That's a frequently asked question. While mentoring, people do ask me this question about CTC. So for me, I feel that business analyst is highly rewarding role, but it also depends the skill that you hold, the knowledge that you hold. So if you have a transferable skills like domain expertise, the competencies that BA needs, then you can get good compensation because organization values your skills. Again, it depends at what level you are moving to the business analyst role. If you are completely transitioning from your current role to a BA role, then you might need to make some adjustment. But I still feel that if you develop your skill and build a trust amongst your stakeholders, you can grow. But you need a patience. You need to spend some time in learning and developing your BA skills. So it's not that easy.
Okay, okay. And just a follow-up question. Many people also talk about what should they show in. So should they show, let's say they don't have any experience, completely new to business analysis, but they have industry experience. Okay, maybe coming from sales, coming from different backgrounds. So should they show some experience as business analyst in the resume? It's a common question coming from students. Or they should go as a fresher, or what should they do in terms of updating the resume so that they can at least get shortlisted for the interviews?
What I believe is they might be doing BA business analysis activities already without realizing it. So they should see what BA does. And if their task matches to the BA task, then they can add it in their CV, which can add value. But not only adding in CV, but they should able to present themselves as a business analyst. How did they solve the problem? How did they do the analysis? Or how do they support in liaising with different stakeholders? So that way they can get a job of business analyst.
So now next section is about how AI is going to impact the profession of business analysis, and how does an AI, a business analyst, can kind of get into the world which is completely now driven by AI.
Yes, AI is a hot topic. So AI is already changing the way we work. Business analysis is no exception. So we have already started seeing that AI can do the automation in terms of the documentation. It can automate the minutes of meeting. It can give you the template. So AI is already doing a lot of repetitive tasks that BA can avoid.
So if, let's say, a business analyst who is already working and in the profession, and they know that AI is going to be everywhere, so how should they kind of start maybe unlearning a few things and learning a few things? Anything which you would suggest that they should learn or start learning now, related to AI? Yeah.
So we have already seen that AI is automating certain tasks like documentation, creating templates, creating minutes of meeting. But what I feel is that we can leverage artificial intelligence, but I don't think artificial intelligence can replace business analyst. It's mainly because business analysts talk to different people, understand their emotion, understand their perspectives, understand their attitudes, which requires emotional intelligence, which requires empathy. I don't think machine can do that. Definitely, business analyst can leverage AI in reducing their manual work and automating their repetitive task, and they can focus on more strategic analysis. They can more focus on decision making. They can more focus on adding value to the stakeholders, understanding them.
What is one piece of advice would you like to give to a business analyst who's either kind of going to get into business analysis or who's already into business analysis role?
Who is newly starting business analyst? My advice to them is be confident, be positive, and try learning new things. you should have a learning ability to, because BA role is evolving. So we should not stop as a business analyst. Explore BA certifications, explore, watch some videos, join networking teams, and that's how you can learn the business analysis and grow in your field, depending on your aspiration. And those who already have BA experience understand, they can understand or analyze what they really want to do in their life, whether they want to move to any other different role or whether they want to grow in their BA ladder. So that's up to them. If they want to grow in their business analysis role, if they are a senior business analyst, they can move to a lead business analyst role, they can move to a principal business analyst role, they can become a BA manager also. Or they can perform dual role. Nowadays, I have seen that BAs are performing dual role. They are performing project manager come BA role.
Correct.
So depending on their inclination, they can choose the career that they want.
Okay, as a last question, anything which other than about business analyst as a professional, what's one big learning which you have had over the last 2 decades?
So if I reflect on my journey, one of the key learnings for me was the power of patience and dedication. Because when I moved to IT role, I did not know how to speak IT language. I was struggling. I did not know how to use SQL. But what really helped me is dedicating my time in learning, having a patience until I gained the trust from my stakeholders. So I gave some time in learning Babok Guide, and that really shaped my career because Babok has all the tasks, techniques that BA can use, and I started applying them in my day-to-day activities. So that really helped me. So if you ask about learning, my learnings are patience and dedication.
So thank you so much, Rachana. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
your time, and thank you for sharing your thoughts with the viewers.
Thank you so much for having me here, Abhishek.